This is why I hate when people get on here to bash disabled veterans. I'm 100% P&T disabled veteran with PTSD, military sexual assault. When they sexually assaulted me, they committed at least six or more felonies against me in the span of from 2003 to 2005. This is my full story. I got sexually assaulted in the army. The man decided to put his hand inside my PT shorts and make contact with my genitals and asked me what did I need. I got up, reported it, and they destroyed my life. The United States Army, instead of helping me, they kept my perpetrator in, protected him, still today will not release his name, and they threw me out of the Army and destroyed my life. That backfired against the Veterans Affairs years later. 20 years later, I got my 100% PNT and SSDI combined. They pay me $5,500 a month tax-free for the rest of my life. I started receiving that at age 39, currently 46. It's actually backdated. I've been a disabled veteran for 20 years, but the 100% has been backdated to 2017. It's been almost 10 years since I've been receiving my 100%. Um, they lied on my paperwork when they tossed me out. They put it as a personality disorder and wrecked my life because I could not get back into the army. I I didn't even try to get a federal job because of what that DD 214 said. If anybody had requested to see my DD 214, I was automatically fucked. These people destroyed any and all opportunities that I had going forward permanently. So they had no choice but to pay out and retire me. Is basically what they had no choice but to do. I had a lawyer help me, and a judge signed off on it, and the judge said give him everything. Yeah, that's how that's also on SSDI as well. That's why I'm hitting 5,500 a month. Everything's permanent. Uh, you, the United States military, should keep your hands to yourself. You don't have a right to be touching people like that. Like, I don't know who the hell these people think they are. Not to mention, I was 23 years old when they did this to me. So I was 23 years old, extremely muscular, really young, and I was a virgin. Like, literally, I was not interested in anyone back then at all. So you violated the rights of a person that had no interest in anyone. And they did this to me in the middle of Iraq. I was not stateside. I was deployed in the middle of a combat zone in Iraq. That's where they decided to come for me with this bullshit at, and that's why they're paying out the ass. So you don't understand the full story of this veteran, and for you to come get on in my comments and tell me that they need to cut off veterans' disability and we're fraudsters and all this stuff, you need to go find something else to do besides bothering a disabled veteran. You don't understand what we have been through. This is the beginning part of the story. This is not the other part of the story is when I got out of the army and took my first civilian job. My boss sexually assaulted me 4 more times on top of that. So I got sexually assaulted by 2 different men 5 different times in a span of 2 years, and propositioned for stuff that I cannot say on this app. The first incident happened at 23. The second incident happened at 25. And because of all that stuff happened to me at work, the government covered it all up. Like, literally, they made it look like I was crazy. That's why the PTSD almost broke me. I have severe PTSD. Every single PTSD symptom, um, I have it. When you look at the DBQ for 100% disability and compare all of my symptoms, I check every single box on that. That's why I got the 100%. Every single box is checked. And even when I took my first CMP exam, they lied and told me I was a malingerer. They didn't even want to give it to me the first CMP exam. It took a second CMP examiner to correct that issue, and then it took an independent doctor that the lawyer hired to match what the CMP examiner was saying. So I got two doctors' opinions that say the same thing, a judge signing off on it and a lawyer's assistance. My shit's ironclad. They cannot reach into my pockets do anything to me at all. The government screwed themselves when they decided to mess with me. Literally, you underestimated my intelligence and you underestimated my attorney and the judge. And they didn't think this information was going to see the light of day because they buried it. Except I had a nice little surprise for them. When I cannot say how, but how I beat them, I forced a medical evacuation out of Iraq. That's how I beat them. They couldn't explain that. They could not explain that away. And that's why they kicked me out of the army. When I forced the medical evacuation, that was the end of my career. They destroyed my life for it because they knew they were going to have to pay me. So they decided to throw me out of the army with a personality disorder. That is a condition that is pre-existing. My lawyer proved that I did not have pre-existing conditions because when you join the military, the argument against the personality disorder discharge is you examine the soldier and you prove that there's nothing wrong with the soldier. So all of a sudden now he has a pre-existing condition when you do this to him. So that shit didn't fly at all. It basically it countered that argument perfectly. And she put that argument before the judge, and the judge agreed with my lawyer. And that was the fucking end. That was the fucking end of the fucking Veterans Affairs. I am so ironclad. The Veterans Affairs cannot do shit to me. They can't even say nothing to me right now. Nothing. They have no choice but to pay, because, like, literally, I had no choice but to trigger the medical evacuation. None, because it was a massive emergency, and I was not going to allow them to touch me again. Like, it was not going to happen again. So I fucking took my ass home, is what happened. You have no business talking shit about veterans or disabled veterans. You need to go take your behind to your minimum wage job and go back to your reality and figure your life out and quit studying us. I'm out of here.